Alright guys, so you learned how to graph in vertex form and standard form. Today you're going to learn how to convert between the two. So sometimes they're going to give you the equation in vertex form and ask you to put it in standard form or vice versa. So the first thing we just have to remember is vertex form is y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. Standard form is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. The first one we're going to look at is converting from standard to vertex form. So they're going to give it to you in this way, and you're going to have to put it in vertex form. So the most important thing about vertex form is it gives you the vertex. We know how to find the vertex by doing negative b all over 2a, plugging it back in to get our y value. Here's where you have to remember, your hk is really the xy you're solving for in standard form. Okay? It's our a that we use in standard form, and then we're just going to plug it all back into the equation. So whatever your a is here, it's the same here every time you convert between the two. Alright, so our first one, we have to find out the vertex. So to get the vertex, our h value, also known as our k, also known as our x, is negative b all over 2a. So our negative 16 all over 2 times 1 gives me a negative 8. So I now have my h value of negative 8. I have to plug that guy back in to get my k, also known as my y. So I'm going to take this original equation and I'm going to replace every x with a negative 8. Y equals positive 64 minus 128 plus 71. And then you can just plug it all into your calculator and you'll get a y of 7. Our y is 7, but our k is also 7 because they mean the same thing when we're trying to find the vertex. From there, I can just plug everything back into the equation. Y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. Y equals, here my a is 1, so I'm just replacing my a with 1. X minus, my h is a negative 8, and we're going to simplify this out in a second, but I just want to show you every step to start, and then plus 7 for my k. Y equals, I don't need the 1, it's invisible. Negative negative becomes a positive 8 squared plus 7. So my original equation in standard form up here looks like this in vertex form. Alright, we're going to try another one together. I know it's a little hard to see, so I'm just going to put it over here. A equals 3, my b equals negative 12, and my c equals negative 5. Just so you can see it. I know it's a little weird. Alright, so to get my x, also known as my h here, I have to do negative b all over 2a. So negative 12 divided by 2 times 3. 12 divided by 6 equals 2. Now to get my y, also known as my k, I'm going to have to plug it all back in. 3 times 2 squared minus 12 times 2 minus 5. 3 times 4 minus 24 minus 5. 12 minus 24 minus 5 equals negative 17. So that is my k. So y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. Y equals my a here was 3. X minus my h here was 2. And then my k was negative 17. Okay, so these first couple steps, I am trying to figure out what my h is and what my k is to be able to replace them in vertex form. Let's try one more together, then you're going to do 4 by yourself. So here, trying to get my h, negative 14 all over 2 times negative 1, because that's an invisible 1 next to that negative. 14 divided by negative 2 is negative 7. That's going to be my h. Now when I'm trying to find my k, I'm plugging it back in, so negative 7 squared minus 14 times negative 7 minus 59. K equals a negative 7 squared is a positive 49, then we gotta use that negative outside, plus 98 minus 59. My k equals negative 10. Y equals ax minus h squared plus k. Y equals negative x plus 7 squared minus 10. And that's your equation in vertex form. Try the last one by yourself. I'm going to put the final answer here. The answer key answers will be on Classroom if you need it. Pause the video so you don't see the answer. Okay, good. Now let's flip over to the back, where it wants you to now convert from vertex to standard form. When you convert from vertex to standard, you expand the binomial, distributive property, and then we make a new trinomial and combine all our like terms. It's the easier one out of the two to do because it's just regular math you have to complete. There's no extra steps to do. So by expand the binomial, remember if it says squared like that, that really means x minus 2 times x minus 2, and then the plus 3 just goes on the outside. We use the distributive property, so x times x is x squared, x times negative 2 is negative 2x, same thing here, and then negative 2 times negative 2 is a positive 4. And then I'm just going to put the plus 3 here, and I'm going to simplify. X squared minus 4x plus 7. So my equation in standard form looks like that. Let's do another one together. Y equals x plus 1 times x plus 1 minus 3, because I have to write that twice. Y equals x times x is x squared, x times 1 is 1x again, and then plus 1 minus 3, and we just combine our like terms. X squared plus 2x minus 2. And there it is in standard form. The last two are a little trickier, so I'm going to stick around with you for these two. Y equals negative, and then x plus 3 times x plus 3 minus 3. I am going to leave that negative alone until the very end. I'm still going to distribute it to everything on the inside, do my FOIL method. So it's still going to be negative x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 9 minus 3. Now I'm going to distribute that negative into everything, just into the parentheses. So it's negative x squared minus 3x minus 3x minus 9. And then I'm just going to now rewrite that minus 3 outside and combine my like terms. Negative 6x and negative 12. And again, if you wanted to distribute the negative, it just goes to the first set of parentheses, then you FOIL. There's a couple different ways you could have done it. You could have simplified those 3 x's to make 6x from the beginning. As long as you got to the same final answer as me, we are okay. Alright, last one, and we're going to try it together. Y equals that 2, and then I rewrite the x minus 3 twice, plus 2. Y equals, I'm going to leave that 2 alone. I'm going to distribute everything to FOIL. X squared minus 3x plus 9, and then plus 2. I can't get rid of those parentheses yet because that 2 is connected to everything. So y equals 2x squared minus 6x plus 18 plus 2. Y equals 2x squared, combine your like terms, plus 20. And that is your final answer. I'm going to just show you how to do it another way. So if we had the original equation here, you absolutely have to write it twice to start. If you want to distribute that 2 into the first set of parentheses, that is fine. So now you have 2x minus 6 times x minus 3 plus 2. Then you FOIL from there. 2x squared minus 6x plus 18 plus 2. You then would just combine your like terms again. and you will get the same exact answer as me. But you're only allowed to distribute your A into the first set of parentheses. You can't do both. Alright, if you have any questions, just make sure you come see me or we meet up on Google Meets. Thanks.